Hello everyone, welcome to this video. Today, it is about the golden numbers 3, 6, and 9. According to Nikola Tesla, if you know the importance of these numbers, the doors of the universe will open for you. It was interesting and controversial. If an ordinary person said this saying, maybe no one would have paid attention to it. But when a person like Nikola Tesla comes with more than 700 inventions and a great contribution to the human society, such a saying is quoted, it really makes think. First of all, let me tell you that in this video, we are going to talk about these numbers first, then I will tell you techniques to use these 3 numbers, and at the end of the video, I will tell you my personal experience about using this technique, which after doing this technique, what miracles happened in my life. And if you use this technique, be sure that you will reach what you want or the goals you want. Well, it was interesting for me that when Nikola Tesla got this quote from him, after months of research, after the seminars I went to and researched, I came to this quote, which I didn't see myself or from anyone. I heard a very ordinary source that I have rarely read anywhere about what they quote, that the matter goes back to 1998, and when Tesla was doing research on one of the oscillators he made. He takes this oscillator into a house and starts doing one of his research. After this device is turned on, the energy and the frequency created by this device causes the skeleton of that house to move. And what is left of Tesla after that research? What we heard from him is that if this device is used for 10 minutes more, it continues to work, the whole house collapses. Now in parentheses, I will tell you what the function of this device was and what was the reason for making it. What the oscillator does is that it produces a frequency that is also resonant with another device, with something like a building or a bridge or anything else. Usually when they want to destroy something like a building or a bridge, they use such a device with this high frequency. Now, it is said that the reason why Tesla made this device is because he wanted to help drain the energy of the faults and to prevent the occurrence of terrible earthquakes that will happen after this research and after what he is doing. And the main reason and origin of this sentence is that many of us hear that 1 year later, in 1899, in September, on September 3rd, 6, and 9, 3 huge earthquakes occurred in America in Colorado. And after these 3 earthquakes on the 3rd, 6th, and 9th of September, Tesla came and said that if you understood the energy and importance of the 3 numbers 3, 6, and 9, you would have a key to the universe. What I want to talk about before we get to our main technique, which is what I want you to do if you want to achieve something, is that what Tesla actually did was ask for those repeating patterns that exist in the universe. There are things that you see. For example, most roses have a basic shape. If we look at our structure, for example, a leaf has a basic shape. If we look at the structure of blood vessels and human cells, they have a very special shape. We call all these blueprint. For example, the blueprint of the universe, and they all follow the same form and shape, and they are constantly repeating a very small thing that I want to tell you about these numbers. Something that has attracted a lot of attention for me, it was that if you write from 1 to 8, do not include the number 9 and add these numbers together, the sum of these numbers will be 36. And if you add the number 3 to the number 6, they will add up to 9. 3 numbers that Tesla himself mentioned. Another thing is that if you add the number 9 with any number, it returns the 2 numbers back to the original number. That is, if you add 9 with 5, it becomes 14, and if we add them together, it becomes 5. That is, if you add any number, the sum of those 2 numbers will return to the same original number. And this indicates the high and important position of these 3 numbers. If you look at a circle, the sum of the angles of that circle is 360 degrees. If we add 3 and 6 together, we get 9. If we cut the circle in half, we get 180 degrees and add 1 and 8. 9 if we want to make it smaller again, divide it by 90 degrees. It is possible, and the smaller you make this circle, the sum of the numbers will return to 9. Now, how can we use these numbers in our life? Well, I am here to tell you techniques that by using this technique, you can use these 3 numbers in your life and achieve anything you want or desire from this. I have used this technique myself many times and I always got results, but I want to teach you and finally tell you about my experience when I used this technique. The basis of this technique is that when you use the numbers 3, 6, and 9 to get what you want, you use it because you can get it, because you make yourself both the frequency and the energy of these 3 numbers. There are 2 quotations for using this technique. The first method that I will tell you is something that I always use, and I suggest that you also use this method because this method has worked for me and I have used it many times. What I suggest to you is that you can choose the 3 goals you have or the 3 things you want to achieve. So 3 comes from here. What I usually do is to write those 3 goals in relation to each other. That is, if it is about money, all 3 goals should be about money, or if it is about the house, all 3 goals should be about the house. In my opinion, don't choose different things, because your mind is constantly scattered between different things. Let's go to the number 6. The number 6 tells you that it will ask you to come 6 times throughout the day and repeat the sentences you wrote to yourself. If you want to look at the sentences 6 times and repeat them in your mind, or if they come 6 times, write them down, and this is where you actually get the frequency of the number 6. And then where does the number 9 come? The number 9 tells you that 9 seconds each time. What you want to think about is the 3 goals that you wrote down 6 times. Look at it 6 times. Each of these 6 times should last 9 seconds. And you use the numbers 3, 6, and 9 here like this. And what is the basis of it? And you will be energized. In fact, with these numbers 3, 6, and 9, you can access your subconscious mind. When you repeat and repeat your goals 6 times, the main key to reaching the subconscious mind is actually repetition and seeing mental images. So these 6 times when you repeat those 3 goals for yourself, you are actually manipulating your subconscious again to achieve what you want. This is the method that I have always used if I want to do something with these 3 numbers. This was the first technique that I wanted to share with you, something that I said I always use. There is another technique that if you think that this technique is not enough for you and repeating it 6 times a day is not enough for you and you need to repeat it more and more, because there are some people who get more relaxation by repeating it more. They repeat something, they feel that it has happened to them all the time. If you are one of those people, you can use 3.6.9 in another way. I want you to divide your day into 3 parts. When you wake up in the morning, write one goal for 3 times and repeat it 3 times at noon. Write it 6 times and repeat it 6 times, and write it 9 times at night and repeat it 9 times. In this technique, like the first technique, 3 numbers 3, 6, and 9 are repeated again. You are in the energy and frequency of these 3 numbers. No matter how many times you repeat them, you do what you want to achieve in your subconscious mind. So both techniques are actually saying the same thing. The first technique is for those who, so to speak, write once. They get that self-confidence and that good feeling from having what they want from the happening of that event and the goal they have in their life. If you are one of those who need a bit more, be more in touch with your goals, I recommend the second technique. Write 3 times, 6 times, and 9 times throughout the day what you want to think about and visualize. And then, as always, in all these techniques, release is the most important thing. The release thing also means that when you thought about it or visualized it, when you meditated and enjoyed those 10 or 20 minutes, I want you to be sure that this happened in your life and you achieved what you want. This means release. It means me. I do not worry. I am not stressed anymore. I left everything to the universe. I left everything to God, and I am sure that I will get what I want in the best possible way. Well, now let's go to my own experience of using these numbers about 4 years ago. The first time I got acquainted with this method, I was listening to the video of one of the law of attraction professors, and he mentioned Nikola Tesla, and that was when I myself I had a legal job and I was very worried about what was going to happen to him and how this work was going to proceed. I heard about it and started writing 3 things just like I told you. but I chose 3 sentences related to that discussion. During the day, I started to write 6 times for 9 seconds and then let go. As always, this took me almost 3 weeks. 3 weeks was the time when I had to go and give a series of papers related to that job, and then it was time to make a decision. 10 days after the date I gave the papers, I started. I was writing and was sure that this would happen the way I like it. I am one of those people who have very, very high energy. If I want to achieve something, if I use any of these rules, I always achieve 100% of that thing. I was saying that I will get what I want. I remember that morning before I went to the desired place, I wrote it for the last time, and with full confidence I took the papers, took the files, and went to the place I had to go to. And I think this was a legal thing. What you can imagine is how stressed a person can be. I had to get a numbered sheet when it was my turn and give them this file and then come back and sign and go home, and you might not believe that when I went to the counter to pull out the slip, that is to pull out my number, when I pulled out the number that came to me was number 369. I think it was one of the best moments of my life. I can say that it was the time when I was sure that this will happen with 100% of my heart and soul, and it will be the way I want it. If you believe in these numbers, they are a very good guide for my life and for me. This was a great sign from the universe for me on that day to be sure that I am doing what I am doing and that the path I chose is the right path. I hope that you liked the video. I hope that you will try to use each of these techniques that I am giving you and that you will achieve what you want. If you like the video, be sure to like the video by liking this video. It will be suitable for more people who might like to see the video, and it will help them. And you must also subscribe to the channel. You will give me a lot of energy by subscribing. And definitely write your comments in the comments. I will definitely read the comments. I hope you see this video. May you achieve all your wishes or goals. And for now, until the next video, see you again.